Looking at endorsements, however, it does look pretty clear that the momentum is on the side of Liz Truss. We've seen the Mayor of the West Midlands and a number of her former leadership opponents, I suppose. We've seen Penny Mordaunt, we've seen Nadhim Zahawi, we've seen even Tom Tugendhat come out in favour of Liz Truss. What does that say about the party and its ability to coalesce around Rishi Sunak were he to win?
Well, I think what you've got to remember is Rishi got many, many more MPs supported him from the beginning, plus more cabinet and former cabinet ministers. Plus, I think he's the only candidate that has both two former leaders of the party who've obviously got nothing to gain by giving their opinion, plus most of the former chancellors back in his plan as well. So we've got Michael Howard, we had William Hague yesterday, as well as many existing and former cabinet ministers. But he was already a long way ahead in terms of both existing MPs and others backing him. And I think Ben Houchen, who's the Tees Valley Mayor, who has worked very, very closely with Rishi on levelling up, backed him many, many weeks ago backed him based on what we see as opposed to looking at polls and how popularity may be going.
Well, to move on from polls and on to policy, which I'm sure many, many people want to see primarily in this race, Rishi Sunak has been accused of U-turning, not once, but twice on tax, saying that, of course, initially he wouldn't want to be cutting any taxes before inflation was brought under control, and then now announcing that first he'll cut VAT before inflation is brought under control, and then setting out a 7-year programme for cutting income tax, whether or not inflation, almost irrespective of where inflation is. We've got this timescale for tax cuts. Is that not a U-turn? Is that not inconsistent from the position he set out with?
Not at all. So first of all, what you've got is very clearly we need to tackle inflation first, grow the economy, and then cut taxes. In terms of the VAT cut, I think even when Rishi was Chancellor and he turned up and gave £37 billion of help for families who were obviously suffering at the huge energy hikes, he said then if it went up, he would look again in the autumn budget. So I think that's consistent that the VAT cut, which will give another £160 to families, is short term. It's just a one-off and it's there for a limited period to help with those energy bills whilst we get over this crisis.